Dave Palumbo, founder of Species Nutrition. I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work and are backed by science. From my earliest bodybuilding days, I believed in only putting the best in my body. And that lives on in the Species Nutrition line of products. We use only top-of-the-line formulations dosed for maximum results and the best flavoring systems available. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
When you're asleep, they're just getting started. John Romano, Dave Palumbo, After Hours.
Welcome back, guys, to After Hours. I'm Dave Palumbo, and I'm joined, as always, by my partner in crime, John Romano. And, John, we had a very busy weekend in the bodybuilding world because we actually had bodybuilding shows, believe it or not, which is a rarity in 2020.
Was there an actual audience this time?
I think there was, yeah, surprisingly. The New York Pro, which was not held in New York, but was held in Tampa, took place. Ian Valliere won that, of course. And then, of course, we had the North American Championships in Pittsburgh under a tent outside in a parking lot. Gary Udit somehow made it happen, pulled it off. I think it was the biggest show of all time, John, like the most competitors ever. I think it was over 1,500 people in the show.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I think they had about 16. Over 1,600.
Oh, and joining us is my good friend and client, Phil Bordelon. I was going to give you a big introduction, but I guess you don't really need an introduction because you're so big anyway, right?
Nah, I'm not that well known. I'm not that popular.
Now, Phil, I've known Phil for a very long time. I've worked with him over the years, and he's a good guy. He's a bodybuilder. He loves the sport. He always seems to come back to it. He competed this past week and looked really, really good. Didn't get the pro card, but we got another set of shows. We got the Masters Nationals coming up in 4 weeks. But I really wanted to get Phil on just because, number one, because I want to give him some credit for all the hard work he did. But you don't know what this guy's been through, John. If you remember, last week there was a crazy hurricane in Louisiana.
Right.
Phil had to diet through it, and he works in like the epicenter of where it hit. Phil, tell us what you went through last week. It was crazy.
I don't even know where to begin with all the obstacles we had to overcome in this prep. Right before prep, got laid off. Things are slow in the gas and oil field and everything right now in the plants, just in general. And then on top of that, you got the COVID. That's slowing things down. Then we had the hurricane. That's slowing things down. So I got laid off right before prep. And that's why I didn't compete in 16, 17, and 18, because every time it was the right time for me to get ready for prep, I get laid off. There's no job security in this industry. What I do, when the job gets slow, people get cut. So fortunately, this time when I got laid off, that same day I got laid off, I picked up another job that same day, because normally when I get laid off, it takes 2-3 months to find another job. So that was one hurdle we had to overcome.
Not to mention you have a family to support. It's not just you.
Yeah, I got 3 girls. And we're actually trying to build a house. I'm moving back home to be with my family back in Pineville.
Hold on, I got to stop you for a second, Phil. John, he actually lives he has like an RV that he parks on his job site there. He has to live, because it's such a long commute every day that he has to stay in there. So
it's like that rock climber, Alex Honnold.
Yeah. So, but imagine this: a hurricane's coming. You got this RV with a generator basically, and you have all your bodybuilding food, everything's going good, and now they tell you, well, guess what? You got to evacuate because there's a hurricane coming.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I stay in the camper when I work. I only come home on my days off. The last 5 or 6 years, I worked 6 to 7 days a week, 12 hours a day.
Wow.
and then on top of that, have to go to the gym. So it's extra hard for me to compete in my line of work because of the amount of hours I put into work. My job's not that hard physically, but just mentally, being away from home that much and working the long hours we do, then having to go to the gym, it's tough, especially where I'm at now because I'm on shift work. 1 week you work days, 1 week you work nights. And so it's kind of hard. That was another obstacle we had to overcome this prep. I'm used to eating at the same time every day, waking up every day at the same time, going to bed at the same time. But this time it was all over the place because 1 week I'm on days, 1 week I'm on nights. But yeah, I stay in a camper down there.
My wife would call that a vacation if I was staying in a camper at the work site.
Yeah, last minute decision to move the camper. We were working hard this last week or two, suffering, trying to suck down and get the last little bit of fat off the glutes. So I was really depleted, tired, doing a lot of cardio, restricted calories. I did not feel like messing with that camper. So
wow.
It was the last minute decision. I called my buddy and I said, man, do you have somewhere that I can put this camper, a warehouse or anything? And he said, yeah. So I hooked it up, pulled it over there, and thank God I did, because every camper at the RV place got flipped and rolled. It looks like a bomb went off in Lake Charles. Every building, every house, the roof's ripped off, every telephone power line's down, every fence is down, every billboard is knocked down. Farm equipment flipped over, trailers flipped over, 18-wheelers flipped over, tractors flipped over.
Think about the force of a storm, John, that can knock over a tractor.
That's huge. Yeah. We've seen that in Florida.
They're not really aerodynamic, where it's like anything that's gonna, like a sail is gonna pick them up. You have to have such brute wind force to actually lift and tip over a a tractor, rather.
You've seen 18-wheelers tipped over on the side of 95 during a hurricane.
If you've ever drove past a plant and you see those big flames coming up out of the plant, the flames coming out of the plant, that's the big flares where they burn off excess gas.
Right.
And I sent Dave a picture of our flare. It looks like somebody took a Coke can and crushed it in their hand.
Yeah, it's like this big chimney, John, and then it's literally like the hand of God came down and crushed it, but the thing is like the size of a building that it crushed. How wind speed can crush metal like that is unbelievable. It's unfathomable, actually.
Isn't that called a cracking tower?
Yeah, they have cracker units. You
put a big burn off the excess stuff that can't be refined out of the crude oil. Yeah, it just burns off. Those are cool. I love them.
Yeah.
Yours got crushed down.
Yeah, it looks like somebody took a Coke can and just smashed it in like that.
Do you have that on your Instagram? That picture of that thing?
No, I didn't post it.
Oh.
I don't know if they would want me posting that. They funny about taking pictures in the plant.
Well, I can post it though.
But yeah. So the last week of prep, I had to go back to work. That was another obstacle. I had to go back to work. Well, I ended up having to commute an hour and a half drive there, hour and a half drive back after working, and then still going to the gym because I couldn't stay down there because there's no electricity. I was like, oh well, I'll just bring my generator. Well, if I'd have brought my generator, it would have got stolen in a heartbeat. Plus, there was no gyms are open. There's nowhere to get food. All the stores were closed. So I had to drive back and forth every day on top of working and trying to get ready for the show. Then the last week I caught a massive ear rape. I sent Dave the pictures of it. My ear ended up ruptured and I had pus pouring out of my ear for like 3 days. Prep was so smooth. And then like the last 2 weeks, it's like the world came crashing down.
I told him to stop. He kept telling me, this is the easiest prep I ever did with you. I can't believe how easy it's been. I'm like, I'm saying to myself, stop saying that. Stop saying. You're like jinxing yourself, right off the bat. Because he's one of these guys that has all these weird things always happen to him at the last minute. He loses his job, something, he tears a muscle, something terrible always happens at all his preps. And I always feel bad. And he always comes back. He doesn't let it get him down. And he kept saying, "Oh, everything's going so smoothly. I'm not really suffering that much." I'm like, "Don't say it. Yeah. Stop."
Yeah. The prep was smooth, man. I had no cravings. Didn't have no breakdowns. Man, why am I doing this? I want to quit. And we had cheat meals. I was doing less cardio than I normally do. Everything was just going good, and then just bam, like, you know, the last 2 weeks, I'm like, Jesus, what else can go wrong, you know? But everything worked out. We was able to make it to the show. But, you know, talking about injuries, when I got back from the North Americans last year, I had texted Dave, my shoulders, both of them out of the blue just started hurting. And I thought I was going to have to go have shoulder surgery. I mean, I was in so much pain. I couldn't bench 100 pounds. I was in that much pain. And I never went and got an MRI or anything because I currently don't have any insurance. It's too high through my company where I work, so I don't carry insurance. I was going to go pay for MRIs out of pocket, but I tried a couple things and my shoulders ended up getting better. I showed Dave this pillow system I got. It's a damn $300 pillow for shoulder pain. And I bought that, and that actually, when I sleep on my side, it's built or made for side sleepers. So it takes the pressure off of your shoulder. So with that, and I got some cream and some DMSO I'd rub on, I was able to get the inflammation out. Once I got the inflammation out, the pain and the, you know, my mobility and range of motion started to come back. I'm nowhere near, you know, 100%. You know, I used to play around with 500 on the bench. You know, I would rep 315 for 30 reps. You know, now I may get 315 for 5 or 6 reps. But
John,
I mean,
isn't it terrible, John, that, like, you know, like a guy who works, you know, full time, has a family, can't get affordable health care in this country?
Yeah, you know, that's that was you know, big promise that was made to us, you know, back with the during the last administration, and
but even if he gets an MRI, what is? I mean,
oh, it's Mr. G.
Hey, what's up,
George? He can't afford, you know, an MRI is $1,000. Think about it.
But Dave,
more than that. That's
an MRI. What's
$1,500?
What's the unless you're gonna get surgery? You know,
that was the main reason. I said, if I go get the MRI and they tell me I need surgery, I said, I can't pay for the surgery anyway.
You know what the sick thing is? I have the best coverage you can buy. It's a very expensive coverage. And you know what? If I go for an MRI, I got to pay the same $1,000 because I got a deductible. So you're not even saving anything.
I went in to get an MRI on my shoulder, and they said, well, that'll before I'm going in. No one said it was going to cost anything. Yeah. I get in there, and you know, I'm doing the paperwork, and I'm handing him the clipboard, and then the lady looks back at me, and she goes, "That'll be $6.75 today."
That's cheap.
$6.75, and she said, you know, it's a copay. I'm thinking, like, can I get, you know, like a couple bucks for paper clips, you know? So she goes, no, $675. I go, $675? No one told me it was gonna be $675 for a freaking copayment. How much are you charging for the thing?
They just make numbers up. I mean, they get sued.
It's all about in a fucking tube. The thing goes boom, 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 boom for like 30 seconds out, and they want $1,500 for that. That are freaking
all the money's in testing. It's in testing. I'll recommend a good thing for rehab for all bodybuilders: swimming.
You know what? I swim, George.
He's
right.
Definitely got a point there. Swimming
because I've been surfing and swimming the whole time, and I've never had any type of injury, and I lifted super heavy. You know, and then it goes to the point also, I guess at some point you gotta decide, are you gonna keep lifting heavy all the time, you know? I mean,
well, Phil's still competing, so he's got it. But you know, you're right, Mr. G. I'll tell you what, when I swim in my pool like regularly, I do a couple laps, and I'm not even talking a lot. I'm talking like I'll do 10 or 15 laps, you know, and I take breaths in between. I feel like my body's looser, like more limber. I don't feel as creaky.
It's like being weightless. So it's like being weightless. That's why when someone has a knee injury or something, you take them in the water, and they could actually, you know, where they couldn't bend the knee, you know, on land, they get bent in the water.
Right.
So swimming is really.
You do that with racehorses. They got a whole like a moat that goes around the thing.
That's true. You're right.
You gotta go through the thing. I swim laps every day in the pool. It's the best. I go underwater at one, and then I come back with a backstroke.
I think, John. I think we're officially old men now. We're swimming. We've been resorted to swimming in the pool.
I gotta get to the pool before 11 because the sun is over the head. You know.
You have any MRIs up yet?
I gotta get skin cancer on balls.
I will never get an MRI.
Yeah,
Mr. G hasn't been to the doctor in about 40 years. I don't think he's ever gone to the doctor.
There was an article about a year ago. This kid, he got killed in an MRI machine. I'm never getting one of those fucking things. They put him in the tube, right? You know, MRI is a giant magnet, right?
Yeah.
And they
it's like a car.
In the room, they got a oxygen tank, Guess what that's made
Oh,
out of?
it blew up.
They fucking they turned it on. It got sucked into the fucking tube and it crushed the kid's head.
Oh, wow. Holy mackerel.
You gotta go on MRI. You gotta check. There's no fucking metal in there, man.
Look, an orthopedic surgeon makes money through what? Doing
billing the insurance.
Doing surgery. How many people I've had like surface and stuff that were recommended, back surgery. I said, listen, start weight training. All your muscles have atrophied because you're gonna have to do that anyway. If you got surgery, then what's the protocol doing that? So start doing that. Hundreds of guys started weight training, and now as a result, they're surfing pain-free.
Yeah.
Weight training. There's the answer.
John, you talking about going to the doctor and then charges you $675 for the MRI? When I went to the doctor, the urgent care for my ear, because dude, I was in so much pain, it was ridiculous.
He wasn't gonna go. I said, Phil, you need antibiotics. I said, you better go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They give me antibiotics and some ear drops. So I go to turn my prescription in, and the lady comes out. The bottle of ear drops, I'm telling you, is like this. I mean, you can barely hold it with 2 fingers. It's so small. She says those would be $350 for the ear drops.
What?
My jaw. As if prep isn't expensive enough. I'm about to leave, and you want to charge me $400 for some eardrops?
Yeah, exactly.
Not $3.50, but $350.
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Listen, bodybuilding is probably the highest cost as far as maybe training that an athlete has to lay out on their own. There's not much money in the sport, to pay the guys. So I mean,
tilt your camera down, Mr. G.
What?
Tilt your camera a little bit. Your head is like almost off the camera.
There you
Is
go.
this better?
Too far.
There you go.
I was going to do the background, but I was in the middle of prepping dough and everything, so
It's bacon
always
cookies. Yeah.
Look, you're an athlete. You're going to be playing with injuries. That's the bottom line, no matter what sport it is. So I mean, it's and as far as like drop, too bad you couldn't find out like what's in those drops. And put.
You know what the truth is? Those eardrops is probably the same eardrops they give to dogs when they get infections in their ear, and probably if you buy it at your vet, it's probably $10.
Probably so.
Here's a good example for you. I bought 200 grams of Cialis powder for $400 in China. Okay, 200 grams. Do the math. You pay $20 for a 20 milligram pill.
Wow.
How many 20 milligram pills do I have in 200 grams of powder?
But you also have 10 grams of COVID in there too, probably.
So big deal. You got a 99.99% chance of recovery. I'm not worried about COVID.
It's the flu, the cold, the same thing. I mean,
hey, you know what? I want to put up a video. I want you guys to comment on. I don't know if you've seen it. I let John see it before. Milo Sarshav had a video on his YouTube channel of him training Arnold's other son, Joseph Baena, the one he had with the maid.
The maid.
This kid looks so much like Arnold. His facial expressions are so much like Arnold. It's uncanny. Play the clip. I don't know if you guys probably can't see it, but John saw it before.
No, you never see any clips you put up. I could act like I'm looking up in the air.
Unbelievable. This kid is like... Milos puts him through one of his crazy giant sets. He does 20 reps with the hack squat first. And the kid thinks, all right, that was a tough set. I'm done. Now Milos brings him over to the next machine, and he does that for 4 machines in a row. I thought the kid was going to drop dead,
Probably does what Mahalik used to do, intensity and sanity.
He does. He does exactly what Mahalik does. It's the exact same philosophy.
Well, he learned, and he must have learned. Didn't he learn from Steve?
No, but you know what it is? He doesn't do as many. Like Mahalik would do the giant sets, but he would do 100 giant sets.
Yeah,
Milos
that's what I did. I was the kid.
Right, but Milos wouldn't do 100 giants. He might do like 5 or 6 of them, So it's still intense, but you're not in the gym for 3 hours doing it,
Mr. G, how long was a typical Mahalik workout? 7-8 hours?
Well, 2.5 hours nonstop, and then we had oxygen tanks. Because according to him, if I couldn't breathe, then I couldn't do the next set. So I would I would have 2 oxygen tanks set up to take oxygen in between the sets. And then when we were at Jack Delane, when they hired us to do the Jack Delanes, into the valleys, right? Our friend was the vice president. We roped off the whole downstairs with like about 50 pieces of equipment because we got to order all the stuff we wanted, and everyone would like watch, and Steve, and then when Steve made me do a set, I was finally like, I get so mad, I'm gonna, damn you, I'm gonna kill you, man, I hate you.
No, what happened? Mahalik had sold his gym at that point?
Steve sold his gym to Andy Lopadotti.
Right.
And also, by the way, all Steve's equipment was handmade by him. He made all the stuff.
Why did he sell the gym?
I guess he wasn't making any money.
Oh, okay.
I mean, by then Ken's Noiseless opened up across the street. I think Ken, I don't know. I heard that Ken they were at odds with each other. So Ken, at one point, because he owned one in Mineola, and he opened the next one, and he opened up right across from Steve.
Oh, really? I'm surprised Mahalik didn't go beat him up or something like that.
No, see, I mean, that's when they had TK Star equipment.
I remember it. I've interviewed Tom Kinney. Yeah.
Yeah, he had up in Vernon, up in New York, the warehouse we built. It was great stuff.
I know him. I interviewed TK Star, which is Tom Kinney, on the show.
And that's when Gold's Gym was selling. I think Gold's Gym, they were going to do a Gold's Gym franchise. It was like $350,000, I think, at that point to get a Gold's Gym franchise.
I know. Well, Weinberg they had the Gold's Gym there for a while until they switched to Powerhouse because they were charging too much money. But yeah, he was originally Gold's Gym.
Now they're Ben Francis World. I mean, they don't even
No, they're still Powerhouse. They're still Powerhouse.
The one thing about Weinberg and any successful with his gym is he's a business guy first, a bodybuilder second. He's not a bodybuilder business, so treats it as a business no matter who you are, and then he keeps the place super neat, clean, and keeps getting all brand new stuff. Yeah. Always. You
got it. Where do you train, Phil, over there in Louisiana?
Well, I moved here in 2005, and I trained at Reds up until 2015 when I got laid off here in Lafayette. So when I started working in Lake Charles, I joined an old school gym they got in Westlake called Genesis.
Okay.
So when I'm at work in Westlake, I train in Lake Charles. I train in Genesis or Anytime Fitness, and then when I come home,
I saw a documentary on Reds. Isn't he the first guy to have a gym? I mean, it's a great story. If anyone's ever seen that.
Reds was the first Mr. America, I believe. He was the first crowned Mr. America.
Was he?
He owned some title like that. He was the first something. And his gym is top 10. It's top 10 either in the U.S. or in the world.
It's crazy. I don't know if maybe Tyler could find that gym, Red's gym. It's on YouTube. It's unbelievable. He built it's like a city there. He built, right?
Yeah, it's like the size of a mall. You'll get lost in there. Yeah. I worked out there for like 15 years, and I've never been in all the rooms.
He kept adding on to it, right? And adding on and adding on. I remember the documentary is great. If you guys watch it on YouTube, maybe if we could find it, we could.
Yeah. So where is this gym?
Is that in Lafayette?
Lafayette.
Yeah.
Lafayette, Louisiana. And he's still there every morning, 4 o'clock in the morning.
How old is he?
Red, Red's got to be, I would say he's in his 80s.
Right?
Yeah. Mr. America title was with the AAU. They owned that title.
George, that's something I expected you to have. I have your own gym at this point, and people would just be coming in until you're 90 years old, and you'll be telling the same stories over and over again.
Yeah, where's the cookies? But instead,
like Rocky Balboa. When he owns the restaurant?
That's right. You need to have your own gym, and on the back you could have a bakery on the back where you make your cookies.
Right.
If anyone out there wants to invest, contact Mr. G. I think you guys got to find a gym, George, and you put a kitchen on the back so you can cook your food, and cook all your cookies and stuff like that, and make all your stuff. It would be great. That's Red, right?
I agree. I would encourage it. He almost had it going on when he had the Tiki Hut gym.
No, he needs a big gym, where you can walk around like the mayor.
And when Jimmy came there and he said, there's no equipment here.
Yeah, have y'all ever heard of Club 4 Fitness?
No.
Wait.
Do y'all have any of those?
Wait. Back up. Excuse me. There's a significance to what Mr. G just said.
Yeah.
there was no equipment.
Yeah.
But he's charging clients like 10 grand a month to train them, and they're paying it.
Because what is getting in shape all about? Being motivated. 85% of the diet.
John, I saw Mr. G do a sale once. I was in the gym with him in his office he had there. That's all he had was an office. And he sat, and this person sat down. This person thought they were going to just come see the gym. He sold them they spent so much money in that gym signing up with him. And it was really what it was like a mental thing. It had nothing to do with training whatsoever.
Yeah, I had people coming in there that were lost. They were out of shape. Their lives were out of shape. And as a result, I got them back into believing in themselves and giving them hope, and moving forward, And that's really.
So during that time, I get a call from some show, John Stossel. What was it, 2020? 2020. I get a call from 2020. John Stossel wants to interview me about steroids. And he says, "Can you bring somebody to the gym who can like work out behind you?" Right? So I go, Mr. G is like the logical choice, right? So we meet in Manhattan. We meet at Ferrara's Bakery. We had a couple of cannolis and a Soyadel, and we start walking. We get to the gym on the Hudson River. We climb up there to and here's Mr. G. They're interviewing me. Mr. G's in the background. All he's saying is sum total of his speech. Okay, so the guy in the background. Okay. There's a caveat to the story. It's got nothing to do with it, but I'll tell that one later. Anyway, we go through this whole thing. They interview me. We leave. That was Mr. G's full-on. That was what he contributed to the interview. Okay. 2 weeks later, he's.
Hold on. Remember, I had Stossel doing pull-ups off the rafters.
He did, but that wasn't on. We did. That's like I said. There's a caveat to this. I'll tell that in a minute.
Okay.
I'm in terms of on film. Okay. So when you're watching 2020 on TV, you see 2.5 seconds of Mr. G going, okay? And then that's it. That's all you get. 2 weeks later, he's got this van wrapped with this big red wrap in his van. It's like Mr. G. What was it called? Mr. G's Fitness, 80%.
Bodies by Mr. G. Spelled BODYS. That's how you spell bodies.
Right. And then in big letters on the back, on the side of the van, both sides, right and left side,
True.
As seen on 2020.
He was on there, John.
Mr. G is a master at never wasting a molecule of exposure. That was brilliant. As seen on 2020, it was the total truth.
Yeah. You really should have put a scene on the Howard Stern show, because you really were on the Howard Stern show.
In ridiculous shape.
Right, wasn't he? So wait, so the caveat to this, Mr. G's got Stossel doing one-arm pull-ups and all of this shit and everything. And then we come to find out that it's the cameraman's retirement. This is his last day on the job, all right? Mr. G organizes the whole crew, okay, gym members and people, and they're standing around like a choir. And he's leading them in the song "Happy Birthday," or what was he singing to him? "Old Lang Syne" or something to the guy.
Yeah, that and "Happy Birthday" had the whole gym. That was at the Chelsea Pier. 35 years he's worked with John Stossel. He's put up with all this stuff and been with him the whole time. He was with John Stossel before John Stossel was Stossel. It was just John,
The funny thing.
Oh my God, I remember that. He goes before. He said before he was John Stossel, he was just John.
He didn't know that was his last name. That's why.
And he was mispronouncing it. It was John Stossel.
The funniest thing was that all this footage that he orchestrated that they had no interest in filming, they actually used for the guy's retirement party.
Yes, they did.
They should have hired Mr. G to come perform at the party. That's what they should have done.
That was one of the best days in New York, man. That was so much fun.
Kind of just add, go with the flow. I mean,
Oh God.
That they have a volley. Remember they had a big volleyball that Stossel's big into volleyball. That beach volleyball.
Oh, really?
There. That place is so big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have. That was a classic. But you know what? But Mr. G always said that. He was on Howard Stern too. Remember? I don't want to go through the whole story again. But I think
was on Howard Stern, and then Rosie O'Donnell the same year, in 1996. I was going to launch my a big health club with a beauty spa where people would come and get massages, haircut, the whole 9 yards. I'd have like the diamond package, which was like 10 grand.
He was like, let me see how much I could actually charge people and shock them, and I probably will get it. And you know what? It's a good business model. If you would have charged people like 20 grand a year, they would have paid it because they would have said, we got to sign up for this. I want the best. I mean, think about it. If anyone's crazy enough to charge that much money, it must be amazing, right?
You got people have so much money they don't know what to do. So they would.
You're right.
They pick them up in a limo. They come to the place. They get a workout. And then they get a massage, hair, nails done. Then the limo guy would take them out, and they'd have like 3 grand to go shopping anywhere they wanted. And then all the guy had to do is just wait at home when she came home. Because he was definitely going to get lucky.
Mr. G is not afraid to throw around numbers.
No.
But guess who my investor was?
Who?
Going to be in that.
Who?
It was one of the guys from the Wall Street.
Oh, the Wolf of Wall Street guys?
Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah.
Yeah. His wife.
Great.
And he goes, yeah, it's worth $1 million to me to get my wife out of my hair, So I don't want nothing to do with it, right? So then when it came down to do the whole deal, I put everything together, right? They would have put in 200 grand. And I said, well, someone has to run the company. Someone has to be the CEO. And she goes, what do you mean? I go, I got to run the company. You haven't done anything. I put the whole thing together, the whole business plan, found out where we're going to go and everything. So the next thing you know, the guy, I don't want to say it. The guy gets on the phone and goes, what are you talking about? He goes, this is your chance to hit a home run. I'm like, listen, don't give me that Wolf's bullshit. I'm not doing the deal. It don't feel good. Bye. And I hung up.
What, did he get arrested right after that?
Guess what happened? After that, that's when they all got busted and they all went to jail.
Wow.
All those guys.
Yeah.
You skated.
Yeah. Because they would have took that place would have been gone.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, they definitely would have taken it from you, without a doubt.
Look, Jimmy's getting mad because.
Oh, is he on the phone? Is he on the line?
No, he's yelling on the thing.
Let Jimmy rant. And Jimmy, but he's always got to turn it. Why do we got to tell him the same thing every show? Jimmy, turn your phone.
Is he in a cemetery again? Oh, there's Greg. Okay.
What's up, Greg?
Hey, guys. What are you doing?
Greg, this is Phil Bordelon, a good client of mine, and he just competed at the North American. So we got him on. He's talking about the crazy hurricane down in Louisiana and everything like that.
Oh, okay.
You know who he looks like? I just figured it out. He looks like Rocco.
Yeah, Labrado.
I can't see him, though. I only see Georgie and you. And
is Phil on the line?
Remember what Mr. G said when he met Rocco? He goes, yeah, you look at this guy. That's his name, Rocco.
Oh, yeah.
He does look like Rocco Labrado. Yeah.
You're talking about Rocco Labrado.
Phil looks just like him.
Yeah. You're right. I didn't even think about that. And I know Rocco really well, too. You're right.
Dave, you keep sending that, the link. You send it to you keep forgetting I got a flip phone. You got to send it to my email. That's why I couldn't get on here.
Oh, well, I thought you would just copy it and send it to your, your thing anyway. I don't know. I keep forgetting.
Technology.
Hey, Greg,
I got a flip phone. I keep trying to get
Greg, can't you send it to your email? Can't you share that? Press on it and share it to your email. Because that's what I did with
No,
Greg,
but I got a flip.
You could probably go to this.
Phone.
I know you don't want to, but you could probably go to the AT&T store and get a free iPhone now. They'll probably give it to you for free, Greg.
Yeah, I got iPhones here. I just don't. I don't want to do it. I'm a home guy.
Do it.
All right, look. Here's what we got to do right now, because the technology being the way it is, and we know that Jimmy the Bull's got issues. We just should let him do a rant now, because we're going to lose him.
You're right. Is he on? Is he on the line?
No, we already lost him. I was too late.
Oh well.
No, when I visited him at his house a couple weeks ago, I was talking about doing he has a guy that's going to do his website and stuff. And I was trying to get Jimmy to go to get a small laptop, you know, a small little laptop so we can go on and do stuff. I go, because once we get on there, people are gonna go on your site. They're gonna ask questions and stuff, you know, and you should answer them back, you know. And the guy said,
there he is. He's back in the lower right.
I don't see him.
He's down right there. See?
Go, Jimmy.
Jimmy the ball.
Go. Jimmy, go.
Brad, come on, baby.
Come on, man. What's pissing you off
Come on,
today?
the millions of fans are waiting for it, man. They're tired. You gotta save their souls with the rant.
He might not have the audio going.
He's all fucked up. Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Jimmy.
What is he listening to? Wouldn't you love to know what he's listening to?
Jimmy. Jimmy.
We can't hear you talk.
I think that's the spring seat. Yeah, it's the springs in the seat.
It's still really funny.
All right, so now we're losing value.
Yeah, I'm gonna write him a note. Jimmy.
We're losing valuable content.
Yeah. Now, you know, let me go back to Gregg for a second. So Gregg, Phil actually lived through he had to finish his last week of prep during that hurricane. He actually works in St. Charles, Louisiana, which is where the epicenter of where that hurricane hit.
Oh, shit.
If you saw the devastation that was there, and you know what, I always say that, you know, guys, and you know this, Gregg, because you've talked about this, guys are always bitching and complaining, it's too hard to diet, you don't feel good, and I can't do this, much cardio.
Absolutely.
This guy had to drive an hour and a half back and forth to his house because to work from work to his house. He worked the last week that he was actually doing the show and sucked it up. And when I hear people complain, he's a warrior. That's the kind of mentality you need to be a great bodybuilder.
He's lucky his gym's open. I'm in New York, man. Half the gyms are open, half the gyms aren't. And they're open down there in a hurricane?
Yeah. Yeah, it was
One day he's gonna win the North America and become a pro.
Too late already. He just took he's doing masters in 4 weeks.
Yeah, we're shooting for next month.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
This was supposed to be my last show. Right, the North Americans was supposed to be my last show. I promised the wife and the family I was gonna hang it up. I've been competing since 05, and I told them I was gonna hang it up. But man, me and Dave just that show left a bad taste in our mouth, and we're trying to go get some attention, man, and go to Orlando and get it done. We feel like we can do a lot better, and we got a few more weeks to improve. We only dieted for like 14 weeks.
Yeah.
So this actually may be a blessing because we'll have a few more weeks to improve. I think we'll be able to get harder. I've been eating good the last 3 or 4 days. I'm going to eat good today. Today's the last day I'm going to eat good. I filled out a lot. Only actually put on about 9 pounds of water, but I could feel it this morning. You were talking about oxygen. I needed that oxygen this morning at the gym, man. I was huffing and puffing. Couldn't catch my breath. But I stayed on my cardio and training. I'm not trying to blow up like a water buffalo, but I am going to enjoy my food. So, and I sent Dave a picture of what my mom cooked. You're talking about being hard to compete. Living in Louisiana is hard to compete because we have the best food in the world.
I agree. I think Louisiana does have the best food in the world. I love that food. You can't get it up here. There's no place that makes that kind of food.
Yeah, it's
Have you guys all eaten in the French Quarter before?
Not me. I've eaten a few French women, but never no. And I've eaten French toast. But let me ask you a question. How the fuck did you do that with all that shit going on down there? Like, are the grocery stores open just to get the food in the train?
Well, I work in Lake Charles, but I live in Lafayette, which is about an hour, 15 minutes, an hour and a half, depending on traffic. So I stay there when I'm working in a camper. I come home on my days off, which isn't very often. So when the hurricane hit, like you said, all the gyms are closed. There's no There's no electricity there. Stores just started opening back up to where they have food and everything. There was no food. So I had to make an hour and a half trip there and an hour and a half trip back. I couldn't stay down there.
I don't know, man. That's just crazy. Let me ask you a question. Are you training with like the mask and shit on, like they want us to do here in New York?
No. We don't have to wear masks. And if we did, I wouldn't, because you can't breathe in that thing, man.
Yeah. Tell me about it.
You can't breathe without the mask.
Here in the South, we don't believe in masks.
No.
Yeah, but here you can't walk in a store, bro. You're fucking. This is a democratic state, bro. They're crazy over here.
Yeah, Jersey too. You gotta wear it.
You gotta wear a mask. If you try not wearing a mask, they'll throw you out of the store. They'll say, "Get out, get out." You can't
Really?
Yeah, yep. They call cops too.
Well, people, you got rats. You got people that regular people that rat on you.
Oh
know?
yeah, your people tell you right to your face.
You know how many?
You don't have a mask on? Yeah, it's bad.
I go, what are you, the mask police? Excuse me, you the mask police? Don't tell me what to do. I'll do what I want. And if they elevate it, I throw the mask at them. I go, here.
The Nazis did.
Yeah, when the COVID first hit, all the gyms here were closed.
Was there people in the audience or no? Right? Yeah. There's no people in the audience. Or
no audience allowed.
No audience?
Not at the North American. There wasn't.
No,
and it was outdoors in a tent.
The North American.
Did they do what the
New York Pro?
Dude, did they do what the baseball players do? They pipe in fake crowd like this.
Well, you know what, John? Ironically, it seems like Florida doesn't care.
That must be weird, though. Fucking standing there, there's no audience. Was your wife allowed to go in there?
No one, Greg.
Nobody?
You had to watch the live stream from the hotel.
No, they wouldn't even let them. They wouldn't even let them. Yeah, they couldn't even come at 10.
You know what? The judges must freaking love that. No one can say shit.
Yeah, right.
You know, the funny thing is, Greg's acting all like surprised. He was in a hospital, and they wouldn't let anyone come into the hospital. So, I mean, why does it surprise you that you can't have anyone backstage with you at the bodybuilding show?
Wait a minute, though. That's because it's New York. This is New York. You know, he could get away with a mask. You can't do that.
No, Pittsburgh. You know what, John? Greg, Pittsburgh was bad too. That governor there was. Gary thought he was fine holding it in a tent in a parking lot. The last minute they told him, sorry, I know he said originally it's 250 people allowed outside. Now it's only 20. So that's why they couldn't have any crowd there or anyone there.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is based on what? What science is this based
on? I have no idea. Gary was really very mellow about it. I got to be honest. I said, Gary, you know what? I take my hat off to you that you made this happen because, man, they made you jump through every hoop possible.
You're talking about Gary Udit?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks, man. That's ridiculous. But there's nothing you can do. It's like that with baseball, football. I mean,
well, that's why they moved the Masters, Greg. They have the Masters in 4 weeks in Orlando. You think Jim Mannion and Gary wanted to move it to Orlando? They love having it in Pittsburgh, but they can't do anything in Pittsburgh, so they're holding it in Orlando. You can do anything you want in Florida.
That's why you got to get fucking Trump back in or get rid of these goddamn Democrats, man. They're hard. They love this shit.
Amen to that.
They love that shit, dude. It's unfucking believable. They love that shit. I was telling them last week. I have two friends that were online, okay, to get, to wanted to get the COVID test, and they were waiting for hours. They're like, "Fuck this, I'm not going in." And then a couple of days later, they get a fucking thing in the mail. You tested positive. They didn't even take the test.
I've heard that several times. I've heard that several people.
Yeah, it's bad, bro. They had a guy decapitated.
Well, Greg, it's like it's if you don't show up, you fail the test, right?
There you go. It's true. But wait, they had a guy decapitated.
You're proven guilty until you prove you're innocent. You have COVID until you prove you don't have it. That's the new law, basically.
But they had the guy that was decapitated. They listed him as COVID. You know what I mean? I was in a COVID unit, and I didn't have COVID. You know, it's such bullshit. They want this. The Democrat mayors and governors want this shit. You know what I mean? And we're fucked if Biden ever gets in. Fucking holy shit. Me and John, we're moving to fucking I don't even know Mexico anymore.
Palermo.
He's not getting in. Have you seen one person walking around with a Biden hat?
No. According to the media, they are, but no.
No, but wait a minute though. They'll fucking cheat their way. They already said that if there's no way they could concede, and if fucking if Trump wins, they're gonna keep doing these. That's why they want to do the ballots. The absentee. That's why they want to do the mail-in ballots.
You want to hear something about? You know what's so frustrating about that?
John, you tell me.
Wait, listen. We have a mail-in system. It's called absentee voting.
Right.
What you do is, you're a registered voter. You send away for a mail-in ballot. They send it to you. You fill it out, and you send it in. If you go actually on voting day and go to the polls to try to vote, they won't let you vote because you already voted. They have it tabulated, okay, because they sent you a ballot. We have that system. The Democrats just want to mail ballots out. That's all they wanted. And there's 80 million of them that they want to mail out.
And they're going to mail them to houses where people have 4 different sets of.
No, it's not just
It's
that.
already been proven that it's fraud
rigged
all over the place. It's already been proven. This one lady had 50,000 ballots. They got the mailman throwing the mail away. They got video of that. They got all of this. There is the only way that they're going to try to pull a Biden victory out of this is by manipulating those 80 million mail-in votes. That's the only chance he's got, because the guy is fucking. He's like Weekend at Bernie's. Every time he stand up, it's like 2 people holding him up. He's already fucking dead. So you don't know where he is. You don't know what he's saying. You don't know who his wife is. You don't know. He doesn't know anything. All he knows is Orange Man bad. That's it.
Communists.
If Trump wins that night, if Trump wins on election night, 3 weeks later they're gonna fucking change it. Say, no, more ballots are coming in. That's what they're gonna do. That's exactly what they're gonna do.
Exactly
And Trump knows it. He said it.
Oh, they're already talking about the Russia thing again. If he loses, they're
fucking
that
Russia.
shit already.
Give me a break. You know who's in with Russia? Hillary's in with Russia. That's who's in with Russia. They're all. That is the stupidest fuck. Anybody that believes that shit is unbelievable.
Biden's son got paid from the Chinese. It's documented in court. They gave him $1 billion. The Chinese government, it's now known fact, gave his son Hunter $1 billion. Never.
How did this turn into a political discussion? I don't know. We were talking about Phil competing at the.
Yeah, you're right. I was going to say. All right,
everything is about politics, man. Politics.
Yeah, let me tell you, even in this sport.
You know what? Old guys love to talk about politics. You ever notice that? It's
$5 grand.
Yeah.
Politics, the stock market, golf,
and young girls.
and young.
Let's talk about your motorcycle, John. That was way more interesting.
Young Latinas.
What do you think about this guy? I got to tell you, what do you think about this guy? Tyler can pull up a picture. I'm going to be interviewing him later. Nick Walker, who won the North Americans, the overall open men.
Oh, he looked freaking
What a
amazing.
freak this guy is, right?
Holy shit, I couldn't believe what that guy looked.
He's like a throwback guy from like the 90s, don't you think?
Yeah. Where'd you find him?
I didn't find him. He found us. He competed. No, he's been competing since he's like 17, but he keeps improving every year. You know?
He's not your client?
No, he's not. No, I just put it up because I said it's a great picture of him, but
no, the guy looked like a freak from like you said, the 90s. He looked incredible.
He looked like how he wanted to see Trey Brewer look. He reminded me of that, right?
Yes.
Like when Trey was coming up, everyone's like, "Oh, that's going to be the next coming." He is like he is the next coming of Trey Brewer, basically.
How did Trey Brewer just disappear?
I don't know. I don't know what. I mean, I see he's coaching people and stuff like that, but I think he just mentally lost it. I mean, look at the size of this guy.
That was probably at the time the most promising rising star that we everybody was looking forward to.
I know. But Nick Walker, he's for real, this kid. I mean, he's a freak of freaks. I love it. You know, and he was talking about his training. He trains just like, like I used to train, low volume, high weight, not a lot of sets, like the Dorian, and it works. Look at the size of his physique,
You know what that's called? Drop the reps, increase the dosage.
No, it means lift heavier weights. Heavy weights build muscle, Greg.
I know, fucking around. Drop the reps, increase it. I'm just fucking around,
Yeah. Got to give muscle a reason to grow.
He's huge, man. But I'm more impressed with Hunter Labrado than Nick, man.
Thank you.
Hunter Labrado's the next. I think in the next 2 years is going to be the Mr. Olympia.
He's pretty sick, man.
He's got a shape like his dad, but is he like 6 foot tall?
Oh, he's. And I think they're about the same height, but he's.
He's a lot taller than his father. Lee had to be like 5'9",
I'd say 5'10".
Yeah, Lee had to be 5'4" at least.
But he's
he's built.
He's big, much bigger than Lee. Lee never weighed more than 185 pounds on stage.
Yeah, but he's killer physique.
Yeah, no, he had a great physique, but
he took third in the Olympia, didn't he?
Took second a couple times.
Second. Who? Lee Haney?
Yeah, a lot of people, a couple of years they tested for drugs, the drug testing.
Chicago.
And and that's when Labrado probably should have won, when Haney did not look like the old Haney, I think it was before 91. I think it was the 90 Olympia.
Yeah, but Haney came in 20 years, 20 pounds lighter though.
Yeah, it was a big. Lee really looked much better than him, I thought.
But that's because Haney was probably really natural. He fucking was 20 pounds lighter.
He probably was. He probably figured, well, I gotta follow the rules,
I love both of the Lees. Are good guys. First, both of them were here at my house. I got a picture.
You got the poster? You got the poster?
We did a great interview with him on Fitness, Fame, and Fortune. You should check it out.
With Lee Labrado, yeah, that was good. I did hear part of that.
Oh, Labrado, you're talking about a Haney?
Both. We did them both. We had them both.
Yeah, I had both here at my house.
Yeah,
Haney ate spaghetti and meatballs.
I know. I love that picture.
Yeah.
With your mom.
He kept telling my mother sausage. I love. He had great sayings like "less said, best said." That's as easy as duck butter soup. And I'm like,
that's like the Ronnie Coleman.
What the fuck is duck butter soup? What the fuck is that?
Well, it's like nothing but a peanut. That's Ronnie Coleman, saying.
Yeah.
Stimulate, don't annihilate.
Stimulate. But
you know what
the way he would say it's stimulate, don't annihilate.
It's
right.
It's Southern wisdom, I call it.
He tells a really funny story about when him and Rich Gaspari were training for the Olympia at the Golds in Reseda. That Gaspari was a fucking hothead. He was a typical Jersey Shore, fucking guys from
Guinea.
Jersey Shore Guido hothead, right? And he's like kicking people off the machines and telling them that, how many more sets you got? No, you're done. Get the fuck out of here. We're training it. Focus. And one night, there was this gang of guys outside the gym, and they're like all talking, and Haney gets there early, and he goes, "Hey, fellas, what's up? What's happening?" He goes, "We're going to get your training partner. We're going to fuck that motherfucker up. We're going to get him. We're on here. We're sick of that shit." That guy comes in, kicking their bossing everybody around, and Haney's going, whoa, you can't kick kick his ass. Yeah, I need him. I'm training he's training me for the Olympia. Let me talk to him. He's just a kid. He don't.
Dude, I thought he died. I thought he died in my car. He fell asleep and he went in my car, right? And when he sleeps,
we've heard the story 400 times, Greg. Yeah.
All right, it's still good.
When he sleeps, his eyes don't close all the way. You know what I mean? So it looked like I kept looking at him I'm like, holy fuck, is he dead? I thought it was a dead body. I have a niece that does that when she sleeps. If you walk in the room, it's like she's staring at you, but she's asleep, And I don't even know if he knows that. I've told the story a gazillion times. So now you're gonna get people.
I don't think Phil has heard it.
Well, just Phil, so you know, Lee Haney sleeps with his eyes open.
Well, I think Lee Haney used to take naps between sets, didn't he? He said he would take 20-second naps.
No, that's Ronnie.
I didn't hear that story.
Yeah, I heard that.
Coleman. That's Ronnie. Brian Dapson tells the best fucking story about Ronnie Coleman. That fucking one time they went fishing and they caught like 25 fish. I forgot what kind of fish they were, and they breaded them and then they cooked them on a fucking grill.
You told this story too 40 times.
Because Brian Dapson's got a grill down there, right? So he said he put them out on a platter, where by the front desk of the gym. And Ronnie was doing chest, So he said, I got a phone call. He goes in the back. He makes a phone. He's on the phone for like a half hour. He comes out, and there's 2 fish left. And one's got like a bite mark in it, And he's like, holy shit. And he looks over at Coleman, and Coleman was out cold sleeping on the bench. And he said his gut was sticking out like this. And he woke him up. He said, Ronnie, did you eat all those fish? He said, I left 2 of them. You know what I mean? But, because, Ronnie is into fishing. And so, and Brian Dapson, I thought that was a great fucking story.
That is a good story.
That's a great story.
That's a classic story.
Imagine that. Ronnie ate like 23, 24 fish. And fucking he left 2 of them.
I think that Kai Green has the record for the most fish in one day, though. I don't think Ronnie can touch Kai Green when it comes to eating fish. Kai was eating like 10 pounds of fish a day. That's like literally like what? Like probably, I don't know, like 1,000 grams of protein, right?
I don't know, but
it's a school
throw
of
some fish farts.
It's like 100 grams of protein per pound.
Because Ronnie always throws them farts, bro. Can you imagine if fucking one of them?
Speaking of the fish market, you know Kenny Jones, right, Greg?
Yeah, of course.
Kenny Jones used to go to the Fulton Fish Market at like 5 in the morning, like on like a Monday morning, I think, whenever the boats would come in, and he would buy direct. He used to try. He wanted to get me to go with him one day, and I just couldn't get up that early. That's when I used to go to bed really late and wake up really early, really late in the afternoon. He would go there and he would buy all his fish fresh, and he would drive those guys crazy. He'd get the best pieces, he'd get good deals on it, and they probably found him amusing as hell because he was out of his mind, So. But he would go there and he would eat all fish every single meal too. He said it would come out of his pores. You'd smell the fish coming out of him because if you eat that much fish.
This guy Coleman was fucking fishing that shit with a bucket. You know what I mean? Like catching fish and throwing them in the bucket. Hey Brian, I got another one. You know what I mean? Like picturing him fishing off a bridge or something on the side of the like at a fuck. I don't know what kind of fish it was.
They were probably like catfish or something.
Bobby
like that.
Duran used to tell me that he would drive with Ronnie, and he said that he would stop like every fucking 20 minutes or shit. He'd want to get like food, it was crazy. And he would be eating like, a lot of McDonald's and burgers and shit. I love all that.
Kenny Jones is a name associated with some shenanigans.
He's a unique individual.
What shenanigans?
Beside that being redundant, it's very true. It's I get a great story about Kenny Jones in Fort Lauderdale. There's a bar called Elbow Room on the corner of Las Olas Boulevard and the beach. It's a famous locations, and it's got two floors. It's got a balcony and a bar at the bottom. It's right on the water. Well, it's on the street, but the water's across the street.
Right.
So I'm walking down, and that bar's famous for fights. So I'm down there, I'm walking around the corner. I'm on my bicycle, actually. And I look up. I'm across the street, and I look up, and there's this fight going on. There's all this commotion, right? And the next thing you know, I'm standing there by the red light. 3 guys go flying off the balcony onto the deck below. And then you see this guy, Kenny Jones, doing a flying front kick down the stairs, and he takes out 2 guys down the stairs with a flying front kick, and he gets to the bottom, and he's like fighting on these people. These guys are like dropping like flies. He took 9 guys at one time, and it's Kenny Jones. He's like 4 feet 10, and he's a black belt in karate.
I didn't know that.
He took out the whole bar. Everybody was dead.
I didn't know that.
He was like Bruce Lee.
The flying kick down the stairs, I'll never forget that as long as I live. You see that foot out in front of him, and he's in the air, and he's parallel to the banister, flying through, and he knocks one guy with the kick and another guy with an elbow, and he lands at the bottom, and then he's like, who's next? He was like ready to kill everybody.
Now, he was probably like this. This will be your last day. Prepare to face your doom. How the mouth that don't match.
Yeah.
Prepare to face your doom.
But Fat Man, he took these guys out in like 1 second. He was like, boom, boom, boom. One guy goes flying off the railing. The other guy goes flying off the railing. Another guy goes flying off, and he's flying down the stairs. 2 more guys, and then he wants more.
What state?
Florida.
What state?
Fort Lauderdale, right?
But isn't he still here in New York though? I haven't seen him in.
I think he was living in Florida for a while.
Didn't he buy a camper and disappear?
I don't know where he is now.
He bought a camper.
He's back in New York though, I think. But he was definitely in Fort Lauderdale for a while. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, but then he had sold his Cadillac. He bought a camper and he was going to disappear.
Yeah.
We should find him and get him on the show. This guy is hysterical.
Mr. G should go into business with Kenny Jones, don't you think?
Oh my God. What a fantastic idea that is.
Right?
Mr. J.
And they should hire Steve Silverman too, probably, to work.
No, bro, I just saw him. He was on the boardwalk. I just saw him on the boardwalk at Seaside Heights.
What were you doing there? Oh, dropping your niece off?
I just went for like 2 nights. Bang the girlfriend and shit.
You didn't call Mr. G up?
No. Hey, Greg, tell me when you come. I'll take you out surfing.
Yeah, remember I told you. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm coming back. But I won't go surfing, bro. I'm afraid. But
I'll get you up the first
Don't
time.
you remember that's where I met that guy at the Quick Mart that says, "Oh, I watch you guys on and he was asking about George." So
George went and saw him.
Huh?
Mr. G went and saw the guy.
I brought him a big cookie.
Yeah, you sent me that picture.
I brought him a big cookie, and then he has his own show. He has his own show.
Yeah.
Yeah, called Muscle Central.
That sounds familiar to me. But that's
He used to compete.
Yeah, he was like, I was in that gas station.
Gaspari goes to his place, goes to that place too.
Goes where?
To the gas station he works at.
Oh, Rich? Yeah, because I was in Tom's River, right where you are, right up the street. But I was with the girlfriend, and I didn't really have time to get a hold of you. But I definitely want to get. We'll hook up.
Did you see the size of the owner? How big the owner is there?
Where?
At the gas station.
Oh, you mean a Quick Start? No, I didn't see him.
The guy weighs like 500 or 600 pounds.
Why didn't you get him to do a transformation with you?
I was gonna get him on the cookie diet.
That's crazy. I saw Silverman down there though. I saw him. He was there.
He's cutting hair now.
Huh?
He's cutting hair. He's a barber,
Yeah, he told me he was doing some barber work.
He actually looks like a young Gregg Valentino, doesn't he? A little bit.
Yeah, he's better looking than me.
You look like you could be his dad.
Oh my God.
Well, listen, when you go to a barber in Jersey, you expect, when I go to a barber, I don't want a girl. I expect a guy, cut my hair, with the money.
That's because we're old school. Yeah.
In New York, in Jersey, it's women. I went to a barbershop, it's all women. I'm like, I thought this was a barbershop, not a hair salon.
That's
right. I don't want to get.
Hey, Dave, do you know who he looks like? I'm going to hit you with this. You're going to be like, oh, shit. Do you know who he looks like to me? A young Fran Volpe.
Yeah, he does. He's got that same stocky build, yeah.
He looks like Fran, but even in the face, a little bit like Fran Volpe. When I first saw him, I'm like, holy shit, is that Volpe? But, Volpe's not jacked anymore.
No.
And then, it was the Ram.
The Ram,
He's a good guy. I like him. He's a good kid.
No, I had him on the show a couple months ago. I
was on the show with
that's right, you were. Yeah, he's hysterical. He's very good. He's very funny.
Yeah, he's a good kid. I like him.
He's had some problems, with drugs that he admitted, but that, he went to jail for a little while, but now he's, hopefully he's on the straight and narrow now. But he's cutting hair. Mr. G, you should look him up. I think he's right in your area there. You could probably go get your hair cut by him.
I definitely will, because it's barber chicks.
That's what he does. He's a barber. You can go right to his house, I think.
So I want to put the hot cream on and
and
straight razor. That's the only time I let a guy touch me is cut my hair. I'm not gonna let a guy give me a massage. Only my brother would.
Your brother.
My brother in Olympia, he charged when Blackman paid for us.
Blackman thought we were stealing. I said, Robin, you can't put massages on the bill on the MD reimbursement.
Massage. The guy had hot tea bags. I opened the door and there's my brother stark naked, and the guy has hot tea bags on him.
Baby's tea bagging him. Hey, let me. What was I gonna say? You just made me lose it. Fuck.
Mr. G, you got to bring Bobby on the show a couple times.
Dude, I love Bobby.
We'll never get off the air, John, if he comes on.
Well, then you and I can take a break.
Yeah. We'll let them run the show.
I'm going to show you when I Skype with my brother. So I Skype my brother. He thinks he's talking on the speakerphone. So he talks like this. That's how. Good. This is what he does like that. I go, Rob, you're not on speakerphone.
Bro, your brother once texted me, no shit, 20-something times in less than 5 minutes. And I got a flip phone, so I'm like, what the fuck? I thought it was just broken. Like a ping.
Greg still pays by the text with his plan from 5-10 years ago.
I had him all right up at the Olympia. We're going to do it this year, but we don't know what's going to go. We're not going to do it this year. Wait till next year, and we're going to have a whole thing. We were gonna get.
I told you can't do it this year.
Yeah, you can't do it this year. There's no expo.
We were gonna get a bull. One of those mechanical bulls.
Yeah.
Have a mechanical bull. We're gonna get a wrestling ring with wrestle midget. We're gonna have Shaq dance contest, right? And we were gonna get. I was ordering Shaq 25-inch those shoes. That's a size shoe. We're gonna get like 8 pair, and the dance contest, you had to wear the shoes to dance to them. Yeah, how funny would that been, yo?
That would have been hysterical. All right, well, I want to just before we wrap this up, I want to just say, Phil, I'm really proud of you. What you went through to get to that North American Championships. You're going to be even better in 4 weeks from now at the Masters Nationals, which is going to be held, by the way, guys, for you who weren't listening earlier. It's going to be in Orlando, Florida. So Gary Udit and team moved the show to Orlando, and Phil will be down there for that show, competing for the 35 and over in the open category there. Oh, actually, it's Masters, so it's 35 and over. That's it. But it's going to be another great show. I'm really happy that guys like Gary Udit are making these shows happen, because you know what? There's a lot of guys are missing out on pro card opportunities because these shows are being canceled left and right. And it's nice to see that bodybuilding has restarted again, so to speak. And so I want to just wish Phil, of course we talk every day, but I want to wish you the best of luck in your preparations. And you want to thank anyone, before we go?
Of course, I've been with you. I think this is our 4th, maybe 5th time working together.
Yeah.
Like I said, I couldn't have asked for a better prep. Things went so well. So thank you. Thank you to all my supporters, especially going into this Masters. I had to find a couple sponsors to help make this possible. My buddy Ray Wright, my buddy Don Hargroder, my buddy Benny at Sports Shack helps me with all my supplements. Trying to think if there's anybody I didn't forget.
Hey, you know what Philip did? Philip said to me, he goes, I have no money to compete, but I'm going to try to find a sponsor. 30 seconds later, he's like, all right, I got $500. About 90 seconds after that, he's like, all right, I got $1,000. I can do it.
Yeah. My wife, she helps me with my food and prep my food, but as far as mental support, no. As soon as she found out that, I told her, I told Dave.
Tell your mother I'm against it. Tell your wife I'm against it. I'm on her side. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I said I was done. And somebody said, well, why don't you do Masters Nationals? And I said, well, if I can come up with the money, then I'll do it. So my wife's like, oh, yeah, that's okay. Well, people start sending money. And she's like, you're going to take that? You're going to take the money? So I'm like, look, I don't need your shit, I can't wait till my mom sees this, because nobody else knows I'm competing. So now I'm going to hear it from my mom and my sister and everybody else. I'm going to be getting bitched out. So
yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Anyway.
What you said you got to go to work where else do you work? Like, what do you do?
I work in the plants in Lake Charles. That's it.
Oil fields, oil plant.
Yeah, it's a chemical plant.
I respect that. A guy that works instead of all that. I'm a personal trainer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wish. Hey, if I could build the clientele, I would love to do that, but I can't get the clientele to.
He's got 3 kids, Greg. He's got to support the kids.
No, I know. You know what you got to do? Sell drugs like I did. No, I'm just kidding.
This is Jimmy. Jimmy's calling me. The police calling me. Hold on. Should I let him do a rant?
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Of course, he's got technical difficulties.
What? I made it so easy, John. I basically said, here's a link. Click on the Zoom link. I can't make it any easier to call into the show. Strangers call into the show. It's so easy, and Jimmy can't get on.
Nothing easier. You click the link,
right?
But he can't do it.
Jimmy, quick! You're on the show. They're gonna end the show, right? We want you go into a rant.
When you got to go through Mr. G's phone, you're in pretty bad shape.
Jimmy, come on.
I was trying to call Dave and tell him I can't get on the fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? I move around and shit. I was at the sausage truck with all the guys at the sausage truck, man, making sausages and hundreds.
Can you put him on speaker, George, at least?
George, put him on speaker.
We're like a fucking crew, bro.
You guys can't hear him? You can't hear him?
Speakerphone.
He's in Huntington, he said. And he's got a bunch
It sounds like he's yelling from Huntington.
Oh, you can hear him.
Why don't you put it on
Jimmy,
speaker?
Come on. Yo, Jimmy, come on. Where's your rant?
Who the fuck said I was in Huntington? Said I was on fucking Linden Boulevard at the sausage truck.
I thought I heard Huntington.
I got other people to interview today.
A real people interview.
Phil, man, best of luck. Thank you for joining us today. Hopefully all your fans enjoy your little episode here today. I want to give Phil a chance to talk about what he went through here.
Congratulations, Phil.
I thought it was important. And you're welcome back anytime. And when you win, we'll get you back again, of course. All right, I'm going to wrap this thing up. Greg, love you, man. George, keep doing what you're doing.
Man.
Send out more cookies. We're out of cookies. And John.
Appreciate you.
Phil, congratulations.
Congratulations, Phil.
Congrats.
All right. That's it.
We're
We're going to wrap things
fellas.
up. I'm Dave Palumbo, of course, with the entire Whack Pack, John Romano, Mr. G, Gregg Valentino, Jimmy DeBoe, and Philip Bordelon joining us today. We'll see you next week.